Puma, take a bow, you have done it again. This is my first impressions of the Puma Velocity Nitro 4. Now, bar a big old quality control issue, which we will come to very shortly, this is an absolutely fantastic value shoe. I'm excited to get in to my first impressions of this. I tested it all through my taper week leading up to my marathon, so I've got 3 runs in the shoe. We'll go through all of that shortly. As with all first impressions videos, we'll be going through how I tested it, give you a technical overview, and then we'll go through my first thoughts after getting 3 runs in this shoe. Quick disclaimer, this shoe retails at £110. I purchased it with my own money. On Start Fitness, they had 2 colorways, this one and another one, for £83, I think it was. I then used a 15% discount that they had on their website, so I picked up this shoe, I think for £75, somewhere there or thereabouts. So with that out of the way, let's get into my testing. How did I test it? Well, I've heard a lot of good reviews from you guys about this shoe, lots of comments about it. I thought I couldn't turn down a bargain like that. £75, absolutely ridiculous. You guys have said it's one of your favorite shoes of the year. Such a basic shoe, but such a good shoe as well, and it all comes from the midsole, but I think that might be where one of the quality control issues is with my pair. We'll get into that shortly. Easy runs is all this thing has had, with some strides as well. So in my taper week, I got this out for 3 different runs. I think it was like a 7 miler, an 8 miler, and then a 4 miler or a 5 miler as well. 2 of those had strides on at the end. Really impressed at how this shoe could pick up the pace. I've said it on a few videos when I've been testing other shoes. Some shoes just have that natural ability to pick up the pace and feel good when doing so. The Asics Gel Nimbus 27 was another one, and this one felt very much like that as well. Really got those strides down to a good pace, felt good, felt smooth, and everything just worked well when I was doing it. It just responded nicely, and a lot of it, as I said, comes down to this wonderful midsole foam. It's quite a narrow shoe, so just putting that one out there. It's definitely not for the wide-footed out there. After recent testing of the Leaning Fadian Challenger 5, where I mentioned that was a narrow shoe, I can confirm that this one feels slightly narrow as well. Not too narrow, but it does really hug the foot, and it does feel very snug over this section right here, so just bear that in mind. But overall, fantastic easy running in this shoe. So let's get stuck into a quick technical overview, because I know a lot of you have tested this already. Before I get into my first impressions, I went true to size in this shoe, UK 13, absolutely spot on. Got a 10mm heel to toe drop, 36 in the heel, 26 in the forefoot. The quality control issue comes in with the weight. In the left foot, which is this one, I come in at 316 grams or 11.1 ounces. In the right foot, I come in at 283 grams or 9.9 ounces. That is around about 33 grams difference between the 2 shoes, or 1.2 ounces, which is absolutely ludicrous. I think the most I've ever had in any shoe, weight difference wise, is about 8 grams. This is 33 grams. It almost transforms it into a different shoe. You can physically feel the weight difference between the 2 of them. It is absolutely obscene. Thankfully, it doesn't affect things too much. I haven't really noticed it that much, but a little bit disappointed with that, not gonna lie. And as always, we'll work away from the heel counter, talk about the ankle collar, the tongue, the lacing, the upper, the midsole, and then the outsole. A super simplistic shoe. The fact it retails for £110 tells you that. We have got engineered mesh upper, which runs all the way around the shoe, and it is a lovely heel flare away from the Achilles with a lot of really good cushioning in and around the ankle bone and heel area. Lovely comfort as you slip your foot in. Really, really good stuff. Classic tongue that we're seeing these days, which is gusseted with a bit of padding there, but then paper thin at the top to save weight. As I said, a really nice, quite a wide tongue in terms of the fact that it like wraps around your foot. You'll find that the side walls of the tongue go down quite far. You don't have any attachments on the tongue to feed the laces through because of the elastic that holds the tongue on the medial and lateral sides of the shoe. It just wraps over nicely. I have heard a few people complain that the tongue slips down. I've had no issues of the sort in the 3 runs I've done. And it's a very standard lacing system. Nothing fancy there. This is very much a classic daily trainer. The upper feels nice and breathable, albeit a little bit thicker than some of the maybe very lighter materials, but it is very, very comfortable. As I mentioned earlier, it is a narrow shoe. So this is the narrowest feeling shoe that I have tested since a Rincon back in the day when I noticed that I was really trying to squeeze my foot into the Rincon. This doesn't feel uncomfortable, but I will say that my feet on the medial and lateral sides really do kind of hug that material. So I don't quite necessarily feel like my toes are kind of like curling over like this, but I do feel like they're very tight, locked in there. The toe box again is relatively narrow, but the length is perfect. So just bear that in mind. If you're a wide foot runner, you will notice that. We have their Nitro foam running front to back. There's no plates, there's no nothing in this. It's just pure Nitro foam, which is nitrogen infused midsole. I've been a massive fan of Puma's midsoles for a while now. As you know, I am pretty much sold on their racing shoes at the moment, whether it's the Fast R, whether it's the Deviate Nitro Elite 3, this is just another banger that they've put out with some wonderful daily training midsole. If you think about some of the basic shoes that you might go into daily training, you think about some of the brands that produce their base level entry foams for their daily trainers and then save their nice stuff for their race day. Puma have effectively got a nice material running all the way through their lineup. This is their, let's say, base level. It is lovely and soft and squishy, and it feels really nice without it being like a marshmallow. If you remember, I tested the Rebel recently. In fact, that shoe is right here. This thing, after a few runs, literally went super flat and it had no bounce left in it. And this was ridiculously soft. This has lovely rebound, a lovely bit of pop in the step, really, really comfortable. And as you'd expect with Puma, we have Puma grip running front to back in the shoe. It is very grippy stuff. I've tested Puma grip in plenty of shoes, in version 1 of this, in version 2 of this. I didn't have version 3, and now in version 4, plus other Puma shoes as well. It's really good stuff. Some of the best out there. So again, not only are you getting a really lightweight, well, in my right shoe package, plus some really good grip, lovely engineered mesh upper, and a wonderful midsole. I don't think you could really ask for much more in a really basic daily trainer. That is it for the tech. So with all that out of the way, how did I find this shoe on the runs? Well, I really enjoyed it. Now, this is an excellent package shoe, not just because of the shoe, but because of the price point as well. Yes, I got it for a bargain, but there are already colorways that are discounted down to 90 and 80 pounds. And so if further discounts don't work, I still think you get an incredible value shoe. I actually think you're getting an incredible value shoe at 110 pounds, because there's not many shoes this year that I've come across, other than the Evo SL for 130, that I feel you're getting a really good bang for your buck. There's just not many of them out there anymore, and this one does it. So you're looking at a shoe that gives you a solid 8 out of 10 ride. It's nothing fancy, it's not gonna be absolutely incredible, it's not gonna blow you away, but what you will find is really nice comfort, really lovely soft midsole with a bit of pep in it, a really good grip, hopefully something that lasts a long time, we'll see. Something you can pick up the pace in a little bit if you need to. For me, with my strides, I know some people like to kind of go easy into steady running, or maybe just throw in a few surges here and there. Again, this is a shoe that will absolutely cater for that. Couple that with the fact that the price point is absolutely ridiculously cheap. It's just brilliant. What I love about Puma shoes, and why I think they're just knocking it out of the park this year, they just provide you with, from top to bottom of their range, really good quality materials. I used to find, like with Nike and their React midsole, just really despise that stuff. Saucony, back in the early days with their original Power Run, that was like running on bricks. Even some of Brooks shoes, I'm thinking back to like the Ghost 15 and before, really didn't like those sort of base level midsoles. I know a lot of brands have come on since then, but I've got to say Puma, I've never found really to have a bad midsole. And again, this is just such a nice, lively one for you to have in a shoe that's 110 pounds. Like I said, the Evo SL and this one have got to be up there in terms of the best value that you're going to get for the year. I think the only warning I'm going to have for you wide footers out there, which kind of includes me to a degree because I do have a slightly wider foot, is that they don't think this shoe is going to give you the best fit. So comparing it to the leaning Fadian Challenger, as I mentioned earlier, that was something that I noticed had quite a narrow midfoot, but then it does splay a little bit more out into the toe box, so I don't find my toes are quite so condensed. I don't mind a narrow midfoot, that works for me and my foot shape fine. I just need things to widen up here a little bit. This one doesn't widen up as much as that one, therefore that's why I'm saying to you, my toes don't feel like they're kind of scrunching, but they really do feel kind of quite tight together. And so I'll get a few more runs in it and I'll see if that makes any difference. I've had no issues in it whatsoever. I fully plan on continuing to run in this shoe. I really am enjoying it. I'm doing a bit of testing in some other shoes at the moment, but I'm really excited to get back into this one. Already I'm kind of like, when is my testing over? I want to get back running into this. And that's a big testament to the shoe, if you follow me on Strava, you'll see all the shoes that I run in on there. You'll see what I test, and then you'll get a good idea as to what will obviously end up in my main rotation or not, and then that gives you a good idea as to what shoes that I really do enjoy. This is definitely one of them, and I'm excited to get more miles in it. As I mentioned also earlier, the Strides, really a fan of a shoe that is going to feel really comfortable, nice and easy out there, but then allow me to pick up the pace. For my athletes and for myself as well, I usually prescribe Strides at least once a week. I try and pop them in twice, to be honest with you. I just love picking up the pace at the end of an easy long run. These, as per the Asics Gel Nimbus 27, two really good shoes that allow me to feel good when I'm running. Obviously that shoe is a lot heavier than this one, but when you pick up the pace, it feels really good, really natural. It doesn't feel like you've got a shoe weighing you down or a shoe that feels a bit blocky underfoot. This is really good in every single department, just a little bit narrow. So there we go, those are my first thoughts on the Puma Velocity Nitro 4. Really good, really happy that I've invested in this one. I think it's going to be good value for money. Well, it is good value for money. Hopefully it's going to be a good investment in the long run. Hopefully I'm going to get a good couple of 100 miles as a minimum, mixing it in with other testing. Obviously I'd love to get all of my shoes to a ridiculous mileage to give you feedback on it. I do test a variety of shoes, not the most. I'm not the most prolific shoe tuber, if you want to say that word, but I do test a fair few shoes, and therefore I don't always get the opportunity to take as many of them to the high mileage that I'd like to. For me, in this day and age, I find that 200, 300 at a push is a good number for me to get to. If a shoe doesn't get to 100, you know I'm not a massive fan of it. And with that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Puma Velocity Nitro 4. It's been out for a while now, so you have probably got a lot of miles in it. From a durability perspective, it would be great to hear from you down in the comments. How many miles have you got in yours? Are they holding up well, or are they starting to deteriorate a little bit? I'm really hoping that for £110 we can all grab a bargain here, but your feedback will be crucial. So please do leave a comment. It'd be great to hear from you down there. If you enjoyed this one, guys, I'll make sure I leave a couple of videos on screen. One of them about the Puma racing shoe that I'm absolutely in love with. The other one down here is a recent marathon training statistics video where I go through the 9 marathon training shoes that I have been using in my recent block, show you the ones that I've run in the most, or the ones that I really like. Check that out, and I'll see you guys over on one of those.